Welcome to that spiritual, actual, factual answers to questions you're asking. You find them inside you, recite you, reciting the records. Akashic, we laughing, we drafting the passion to vary. It's time for that comedy, dramedy, all of the fanciest, catchiest acronyms. Listeners, listen, we traveling. Consciousness always unraveling. The reading you're having is mapping you back to your natural habitat. Abracadabra, it's magic, let's basking it. To top it off, the host, all the classiest. Now, what were you asking for? All of the answers? What? All the answers.
Hello, my friendly friends, and thank you for listening to All the Answers podcast, the podcast where we, I don't have a tagline, but I pretended like I did for a second there. The podcast where we answer all the questions, where we have all the answers, where we give you what you want to have. It's me, Katie Rubin. This is our first episode, sans any gentlemen callers. There's no men here today. It's just myself and me and you guys and your souls. And we thought we'd do kind of a special thing this week where what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to open the Akashic records of all of you listening. So as an education piece, something to understand about how the records work is I can open the records, or another way to say that, just for everybody to understand, is I can tap into all y'all's souls because any group of individuals has what's called an Akashic records. I've probably said this on the podcast before, but any building, anything with a consciousness, anything with an address, any human, any animal has an Akashic records. So yeah, I'm going to open the records of y'all, like whoever is our listener, who listens to this podcast, all of you, the collective of you. And I'm actually going to expand it into the collective of all of you now and anyone in the future for whom this might be relevant. So I'm going to open your records. I'm going to see if there's anything that the record keepers, the divine, the angels, your team of guides and etc. have for you, like, excuse me, in the way of guidance and or in the way of energy healing. And then I'm actually going to pull cards for you guys. And I'm getting that we're going to pull from the Enchanted Map deck today. And I'm just going to ask the question, unless they show me something else in the records. My plan right now is to ask the question, what's in the highest good for everybody listening to know, hear, understand, be made aware of? What does everyone need to know on their spiritual journey today? And we're kind of on the topic lately in my universe of really stepping into the bigness and the fullness of our own self-expression. So many sensitives and empaths and creatives, part of what gives us our gifts is that we have this sensitivity level that allows us to tap into, our creative abilities, which kind of come from the beyond, and tap into our psychic abilities, which are of the beyond, and tap into our divine abilities, which is the beyond. So one of the great challenges of having those gifts, as all of you, I'm sure, know, is that then it becomes harder to be kind of just in the world and stepping into our own bigness to the best of our ability. So this topic has been kind of in the air lately for many people I know, in my own reality. Yeah, in the realities of just kind of everyone I'm running into, and in the consciousness and the collective in general. A lot of what I kept downloading and realizing and receiving during the pandemic was that we were kind of being pulled down and in to ourselves, into the deepest depths of ourselves, so that we could gestate and clear and anchor and root and get really clear in our minds and hearts about what actually matters to each of us individually. What is broken and needs to be fixed? What is injured and needs to be healed? What is a lie, but you've been just living into it out of habit? What is no longer interesting to you, but you've been doing it out of maybe obligation or guilt? What is you feeling good, but playing small and not taking big risks or big swings? What is you hiding from your reality and your next steps? All of these kinds of questions. We were given an opportunity to really dive into ourselves during the pandemic. That was a big part of what was happening there. Not to mention the earth herself was being up-leveled in consciousness. And those of us who are aware, whether you're as out there and woo-woo as some of us or not, the earth herself was, and always is, but in a big sort of quick push, was being, your words, like pressure cookered into, like pressurized into her next level of her evolution. So we, of course, live on this planet and are intimately connected with, the earth. And so as a result, we were all getting that squeeze. We were experiencing it secondhand through and in relation to her and because of her, the earth. But also, like, it's sort of like if you say a flower is planted in the ground and the ground is going through a change, is the flower affected? Of course, because the flower literally gets its life juice from the earth. And so if the earth is getting squozed, so is the flower. And we is the flower. So on all of those topics, let's see what the cards have in store. I have not pulled these cards yet. If you hear these noises, this is me opening the deck. And I'm going to go ahead and just say the prayer now for all of us. So if you're listening, past, present, or future, if you're listening to this in the past, that'd be fun. Can you email me and be like, I was in the past, it was 1952, and I heard your podcast from 2021. It was fantastic. You were very charming. You did say the F word a lot, and that made me uncomfortable. See, we didn't talk that way back then, kid. So let's all take a nice collective breath deep into the low belly. Inhale through your nose, exhale through the mouth. 2 more of those. Inhale through the nose. Let the belly fill and expand as you inhale. Exhale from the mouth. Last one. And if you're somewhere quiet, go ahead and have a seat and close your eyes just for a moment, just to really get the benefit of feeling into this as I drop us into this space. Bring your feet flat on the ground. And as we do every time we open the records, at least this is how I was trained to do it, and I do find that this is a great way to go. There's many ways, by the way, to tap into the souls and the alignments of other people, but this is a great one. I was trained by Lisa Barnett with this particular meditation, and I have stolen it actively. So as you continue to breathe into your low belly, I'd like you to feel into the bottoms of your feet. See those little spinning foot chakras at the bottom center of each foot, spinning like little vortices or little hurricanes, little tornadoes. And let's see them spinning bigger and bigger, wider and wider, opening up until they're so open that the bottom of each of your feet becomes like an open plane of light. As if you are at the bottom of your feet, the bottoms of your feet are open fields of energy, like open windows. Yes, and from those open windows, just see 500 energetic roots extending from each foot, hundreds of miles down into the earth, spreading left and right and forward and back. And as those roots extend down into the earth, see a grounding cord that's about 1.5 feet wide, anchoring itself from the base of your spine or your hips, all the way down to the center of the earth, like a tunnel or a tube or a big tree root that goes from the hips all the way down to the center of the earth. And when that tree root or that tunnel hits the center of the earth, which it should do quite quickly, remember, it's made of light. It passes through everything with total ease. And of course, it's existing initially in the imaginal realm through your imagination. The imaginal realm being, by the way, one of the portals to the other dimensions. So we use the imagination to travel. We're not, people often say like, when you're doing that stuff, aren't you just like making it up? Aren't you just like imagining whatever? And that's a fair question. And I like to mock it in that mocking tone. But it is a fair question. But the way it really works is we sit in the center of the heart and we pass through the imaginal realm and we use it as a kind of like looking glass to see and feel and perceive what's happening beyond it. Now, if you get stuck in the imaginal realm, you're just writing narratives. But if you use it as a way to see what's beyond it, then it becomes sort of like a monocle, like a looking glass, like a tool. So that's something to play with. And as your root continues to anchor itself into the center of the earth, we're going to receive now in our mind's eye and through our energy fields an abundant river of light up through that grounding cord from the earth, flowing abundantly up into the grounding cord, into the root chakra, forward into each hip socket. That river of light, that nourishing, healing light from the earth is going to flow forward into our hips, into our quads and glutes and hamstrings, flooding through all the density of your legs, down through the knees and calves and shins and ankles and feet, flooding down into your roots. Just really allowing that river of light from the earth to really flood into those roots that we sent hundreds of miles down into the earth from our feet. And just allow those roots to be nourished for a moment. Imagine that you can feel those roots that you extended from your feet and that you can feel the nourishment they receive through the river of light that the earth is providing. Remember to breathe low in the belly. Every time you take a deep breath, you connect with yourself more intimately, which allows you to receive more from the beyond, from the divine, from the Akashic record keepers, from your angels, from the earth. Breath is life, and it is the connecting force between the spirit realm and the body, just like the emotions are. That's why that thing happens where sometimes if you have to cry and you're kind of holding your breath and then all of a sudden you breathe and then you're like, why does my cry voice sound like an old man laughing? It's a good question. So when you allow yourself to breathe, you get in touch with those feelings. And sometimes that's the opposite of what we're trying to do. We all want to like zip around and not have any feelings. But unfortunately, that just gets us sick and diseased and unhappy and confused about why our marriages don't work. So great job anchoring, everyone. Allow this anchoring of light into the earth to just soften your heart and to soften the center of your head, and to soften the tongue muscles and the throat, and to soften everything from your heart all the way up through your crown. All of it just loosens and softens as you allow yourself to release your grip on reality. Don't worry, you're not going to drift off and become crazy like me. You'll just relax a little bit and then be able to receive more intimately. And so from this place, we're going to say, we do acknowledge the forces of light. Amen. Asking for guidance, direction, and courage to know the truth as it is revealed for our highest good and the highest good of everyone connected to us. Holy Spirit of God, protect me, please, from all forms of self-centeredness and direct my attention to the work at hand. Help me to know everyone who listens to All the Answers podcast, past, present, and future, in the light of the Akashic records. Help me to see all of the, what is our podcast called? All the Answers podcast listeners through the eyes of the Lords of the Records, past, present, and future, and enable me to share the wisdom and compassion that the masters, teachers, and loved ones of everyone who listens to All the Answers podcast, past, present, and future, have for everyone who listens to All the Answers podcast in the past, the present, and the future. And I'll just go quiet for a minute as I repeat that last section of the prayer internally. Okay, and so the records are open. Wouldn't it be funny if I just realized right now I had my sound wasn't on? I just had that thought like, well, I think the sound is on. Let's proceed as if it is. Okay, so we're in the records of you guys now, and I'm just going to ask the Lords, Masters, and Teachers, the angels, and all the light working team members of the records of everyone who listens to the podcast currently, everyone who has listened, and everyone who will listen in the future, asking for the record keepers of that entire collective to deepen me, please, into the Akashic records of this group. And from here on in, I'm going to refer to this as the All the Answers Collective. Thank you. And as I deepen into the Akashic records of All the Answers Collective, All the Answers Collective. Yeah, I'm just asking for anything and everything for the people listening now and anybody else, past, present, or future, All the Answers listeners, the whole collective, anything in the way of them receiving their highest and best guidance to be cleared now. Released, uncreated, into the ethers of light, into the divine realm. Any and all blocks in my system and or the system of the All the Answers Collective, for all that to clear. Thank you. Amen. Okay. And so as I drop in to communion with all of you in your records, I'm asking the Lords, Masters, and Teachers of this collective, of the All the Answers listeners, like, is there, first of all, any information you'd like to give this group that would be beneficial for them? And they give me a yes, so I'm just going to let that settle into my body. If you ever hear my voice kind of shaking, bouncing like that, it's because my belly, like my whole lower half, will shake as the light is kind of transmitting or delivering information and awareness down into my belly so that I can feel it emotionally. So my body will shake as the info is dropping in, because it's sort of like receiving into the dense 3D level that which is coming from the subtler, higher realms. And so they say, we offer each of you today the awareness of your own brightness, the awareness of the lightness and the intensity of who you actually are. Do you remember, beloveds, that time in your life when you were so certain and so alive, and perhaps it was in the teenage time or the early 20s, or maybe you're in that time now, that heat that drives you forward, that passionate heat of, this is my time, this is my life, I know what is, I know what's true. When you get those clarity moments and those heat, passion, activation moments, please don't squander them. They are real. They do matter. They are to be employed. Even if they're temporary and they pass, or if they change, anytime you get a turbo boost like that, it's a gift from the beyond, and it's there for a reason. You're meant to do something and propel yourself forward. And we wish to remind you today of that time when you were younger, when you just knew what to do. You were like, it's this, and I'm doing it, and it's fun, and here we go. You, as adults who age and grow up and mature, you do continue to receive information. It just has a different vibrational frequency as you age. It feels more like subtle whispers in the background. Many of you who are listening here are the type of humans that have read many books, learned many teachings, taken many workshops, and you've come to understand and believe and know that you're, quote unquote, supposed to listen to the still small voice, or the whispers of consciousness, or your subtle, quiet inner knowing. We need to remind you of the realness and the reality of this. When you get a subtle, intuitive knowing, like, I should probably right now, that's real. That's coming from an angel whispering in your ear. That's coming from you being more attuned to the frequency of the quantum entanglements of reality than you like to mentally think you are. You see, when you're a teenage person, what's happening is the hormones in your body are making more loud and potent and clear the whispers of consciousness. It's sort of like when you're a teenager, you're going through a growth and development spurt that is so intense. You're being pushed and squeezed through the crucible of hormonal transformation. And everything is right there for you because it's all meant to squeeze you into adulthood. But you're supposed to actually use the rocket fuel of the awarenesses you get during the heated time of junior high and high school to propel you forward into adulthood. It's like you wouldn't ask a rocket, okay, to just sit on a platform in Cape Canaveral and then just go to Mars. You wouldn't say that. You need to light it on fire with all the big engines and the heat and the fire. And there's huge, crazy explosions that propel that huge, heavy, many-tonned metal ship into the air, all the way up to wherever the hell it's going. So similarly, that's what the teenage years are for. Of course, the trouble is on the human reality, there's a lot of other stuff going on in teenage time. Parenting that's flawed, and the world you're in, and your circumstances, and the limitations that hormones bring, and the confusion that hormones can bring. When properly guided into the atmosphere, a rocket ship just soars to Mars, period. But when it's not properly fueled or properly guided or properly protected, frankly, or insulated correctly, it just flames out and dies or crashes and burns, right? And that's what happens to so many human beings. And so, please, when you are confused and when you feel lost and when you are uncertain and when you go to self-doubt, which so many of you, including Ms. Katie Rubin herself, love to do, we beg of you to remember the heat and the fire and the consciousness of teenage time, of junior high, or perhaps for you it was another age, childhood, earlier, perhaps for some of you. And there was a sense of like, I know how to do that thing, or I really want to do that thing, or I bet you if I did this thing, I could also have that thing. These are the true awarenesses of you have to understand, the machine of the consciousness of your body. It is tapped into the matrix of the all that is. So the whispers of consciousness from the realms of the beyond are speaking to you right through your body. Your body is meant to be like an echo chamber, like a resonating chamber for the information the universe is giving you. That's why this whole health kick thing is important. That's why people are waking up to like, have more kale salad, green tea, and less espresso, Katie Rubin, because you can hear through the vessel of your body more clearly the whispers of consciousness and the divine and the beyond, guiding you to your destiny, guiding you to your dharma. Okay, dharma is a real thing. Like, we each are here with work to do. We have specific spiritual work to do. And as you grow up, the whispers of consciousness become whispers. They're in the background. They're dreams. They're visions. And the human cynical mind always likes to say like, oh, that's just a dream. That's a crazy dream. Well, you know who succeeds in life? People who follow their goddamn dreams. People who go, I think I could be a comedian. And then they fucking go show up at a goddamn show and they tell some jokes and then they get hooked on it and they love it and they keep going. That's how things happen. So if anyone ever cut you off at the knees and told you that you were dreaming, tell them, yeah, I am dreaming, motherfucker. When did you stop dreaming? When did you start to give up on yourself? And if you're gonna, what's it called? Player hate on me? Go ahead and back the fuck up, because I got shit to do. Okay? Katie Rubin said fucking shit a lot on her podcast, and she was in a channel talking to God. So if she can do that, I can take tap dancing classes or whatever the fuck it is. Okay? So, all right. So there's that. Now, record keepers, it sort of feels like the end of a movement, if you will. Is there more on that topic? No. Do you have more on another topic for us? No. Would you like us to pull the cards? Yes. Okay. It's so funny. Sometimes these days when I'm asking questions, you'll hear me shuffling now. Long before the question has completed coming out of my mouth hole, the answer, the yes or no, is happening. Like, it's just funny. All I need to do is think the question and the awareness of the guidance is present. Other times, that's not the case. Like, I find that other times I got to go through the whole question and be very specific, and we never know. So we just try everything until we're clear. So we're asking in this shuffling, obviously, for the highest guidance for the collective, the All the Answers collective, past, present, and future. What do they need to know right now? What's going to be the most useful, practical information they can hear today to assist them in moving forward in their own lives? Thank you so much. And they're saying, like, yes, we know the question. Keep shuffling. We'll show you when the moment is right. And I want to tell you guys, right now I'm at my dear friend Trey Troha's Airbnb in upstate New York. Beautiful little town called Delhi, which is spelled like Delhi in India, but I think some white people got confused. So they call it Delhi. And I'm up here in Delhi in her Airbnb, which is fucking stunning, and you need to stay in it. Look for Shay Troha on Instagram. Her last name, I think, is Troha. She'll be on the podcast next episode, so you'll get to hear about all of this then. But anyway, I'm in her Airbnb looking at her lakey, pondy deal and all the treesiness and all the freaking grasses and the tree. It's unbelievably stunning. If you're looking for like cute, like Catskills, cute little town, oh my God, farmer's market, this is that. And it's the best. She's decorated it like I want to decorate everything in my life like this room is. Yeah, you need to stay in her Airbnb. Okay, let me focus a little more on these cards here. Is there any other information you want to deliver, record keepers, to the folks while I shuffle? Yes. Okay. Are these the cards? No. Is this the correct deck? Yes. Okay. What is the information you'd like me to give them? The beauty of nature. Are these the three cards? Yes. Don't forget to visit the beauty of nature regularly, everybody. Here come these cards. Oh, these are good ones. Okay. Do you want us to pull any more cards? No. Tell us more about the beauty of nature. Well, they're saying like, it's like people listening to this, you know, you guys are people who need to retreat into the leaves more, in myself included, into the earth more. Put your feet bare on the ground. Put your hands in the dirt. Get connected to the land. It matters. It matters a lot. When you're disconnected from the earth, a certain frequency of magic is not available to you. And when you get reconnected to the earth, all kinds of miracles start to happen, including, and almost most importantly, you come back to yourself. We are so often in this modern world 6 feet outside of our bodies, moving quote unquote forward with our lives, and nobody's in the here and now. So we want to try to break that up. Okay, here's our cards, past, present, and future. And this is for all of us in the collective, the All the Answers collective. So in the recent past, we have this stuck in the mud card. This is a picture of a big, clunky, sweet-hearted looking elephant with his feet stuck in this mud pile, and there's a little birdie on his back, and the moon is in the sky. And that's the recent past. We did just come out of a Mercury retrograde yesterday, I believe, and we're still pulling out of it now. There's a shadow period before and a shadow period after a retrograde, which is happening now. We're in the kind of shadow period coming out. It's not like a hard and fast day, like now it's over, done. It's like you're sort of slowly, gently easing out of a thing. So in this recent past, we've been a little stuck in the mud, and we'll read what the cards say about that. In the present moment, this is cool. We're all in a metamorphosis of one kind or another. That's sure true in my reality. And then the outcome card is this sweet little girl. She's like a young woman in a pink dress, in a kind of a fetal position, hunched over on top of a treasure chest in a forest of mushrooms, with an umbrella over her head. And there's that birdie again. That's so funny. I never noticed that. There's a birdie sitting on top of her umbrella, and it's raining, and she's kind of like crouching underneath the umbrella. Oh, birdie umbrella lady. She looks so cute and so a little bit scared. So let's read what the cards have to say. And reminder, I'm using the Enchanted Map Oracle cards by Colette Baron-Reid. Love this deck, Colette Baron-Reid. We need to collaborate, Colette Baron-Reid. Where you at, Colette Baron-Reid? Okay. Stuck in the mud. You're being invited to stop and savor the wonder of your life. Okay, this is the recent past. Remember, before I even read this, Mercury retrogrades are about that. We're supposed to slow down and review. Sometimes you'll be taken into experiences in your life that are review experiences, where you go back to someone or you go back to somewhere to review it and go, is this really what I want? Am I doing this now? Okay. It's not like everything's all fucked up. Things get fucked up because you're supposed to be moving slow and reviewing. We don't live in a world that supports that. To which I say, create a reality for yourself that allows you to have that. Okay. Becoming stuck is sometimes the only way to trick yourself into slowing down and looking around you. In fact, this is a sign that you need to shift your focus away from what you're doing and place your attention elsewhere. Struggling will only get you into even muddier places. Now is not the time to move forward, but to observe. Clarity about your circumstances will come a little later. Stop and find the joy in what you've been overlooking. Soon you'll be out of the mud. But for now, be still and know that Spirit has a plan for you. Aww, I love it. You're like the little birdie on top of the elephant stuck in the mud. Spirit has a plan. Okay, that's our recent past. And then interestingly, the exact next card in the deck, that was number 24. Number 25 is the Metamorphosis card, which is where each of us is in the present moment. You are in the process of deep and beautiful change. Butterflies earn their wings through great effort. The process of change is often painful, for it is never without losses and sacrifices. If you are to transform from one form to another, a part of you needs to die. Letting go isn't easy, especially when you're used to thinking a certain way about your life and how you live it. Just as a snake sheds its dead skin, or a caterpillar dies so that a butterfly can be born, you're required to release your old ideas and embrace a necessary change so you can live your best life. This could not be more relevant to me if I had written it myself. Perhaps you're being asked to let go of low self-worth, a dream that no longer serves you, a relationship that is draining, or unhealthy habits. Despite your fear, you must accept that this is a transformational time for you. There will be some loss involved, but you'll love what you become. Son of a gun, because that rhymes more, but I wanted to say son of a bitch. Okay, listen to this part again. Letting go isn't easily, especially when you're used to thinking a certain way about your life and how you live it. Etc., etc. Despite your fear, you must accept that this is a transformational time for you. There will be some loss involved, but you'll love what you become. I mean, look. Oh my God, I'm right in the middle of this, you guys. Here's something I know more than anything else I know. People do this thing, okay? This is for you. Listen up. People do this thing where they go, but it's gonna be sad if I choose that thing. And then they stop. They go, well, I don't want to be sad. Therefore, I shouldn't do the thing. You must probe further, beloveds. Just because it makes you sad in the short term does not mean it's the wrong effing choice. Sometimes you got to be sad for a couple freaking weeks before you kind of blossom out of the chrysalis and become the butterfly. It's kind of sad to be a caterpillar alone. What are they when they're in there? They're a caterpillar inside the thing. Anyway, it's sad to be alone inside of a freaking cocoon. That is a bummer. There's no parties. Nobody's bringing you drinks. Nobody's high-fiving you. You're not getting laid. Okay? There's no nature to hang out. You're just in there. And then one day, boom. Weeks later, hours later, whatever it is, you explode out of the freaking cocoon and then you get to go fly and be a butterfly and everything's great. Okay? that doesn't mean don't be in the cocoon. It doesn't mean don't do the things. So many people, here's a great example, stay in relationships that are a real serious bummer, or that are just not working for them. Or let's even be more granular. People stay in ruts in their relationships. You might be in a great relationship, but you'll stay in a rut and not communicate about a thing, and not tell the truth, and not be vulnerable and honest because you don't want to hurt their feelings, or you don't want to be uncomfortable, or you don't want to have to face it yourself. So people stay in ruts, or they stay in terrible relationships that aren't right for them because they don't want to feel the discomfort of the conflict and the loss. Loss is a part of life, you guys. Like, look what this lady says. The caterpillar literally dies. It loses its life so that a butterfly can be born. And she says you're required to release your old ideas and embrace a necessary change so you can live your best life. But see, that's the point. It sucks for a minute and then you get to live your best life. Would you rather it low grade sucks all the time and you never have to face the hard, intense pain, and then you don't live your best life? You have some mediocre version of yourself that's hiding. Or would you like to hurt a lot for a short period of time and then become a fucking ninja, living your best fucking life? That is the choice that is in front of many of us right now. Now, I know that it's not comfortable in the short term, but you have to think it's like weightlifting, right? It's ow, 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 ow. Arms. Look at my arms. You can't get arms until you lift the heavy weights. Okay. All right. That's the present moment. Now the outcome, what's right around the corner. This is a very supportive, nurturing card. I love this card. It says, protecting treasure. You are always protected and divinely directed. Oh my God. Although this is a time of great risk. God, how could this spread be any more like 1, 2, 3? Sometimes you get a 3-card spread and it's like, man, those cards, I'm going to have to really listen to the record keepers to hear the connection between the cards. This is 1 + 2 is 3. Okay. Although this is a time of great risk, know that at a fundamental level, you are able to move forward safely and securely. The proverbial nest egg is safe and sound, no matter the fluctuations in the world. Guardian angels and other guides are whispering to you, making you aware of their protective presence. We've been talking about the whispers. Your loyalty is an important theme now. Nurture that which you hold dear. This is a good time to strengthen bonds of friendship and ensure their integrity. If you feel tested right now, know that a true and loyal heart always achieves its aim. Take refuge under an angel's wing. You are not alone and have no need to fear. Embrace your courage. God, that's great. It's something I get right away when I read this sentence. Your loyalty is an important theme now. They're talking here about your loyalty to your higher self, to the whispers of consciousness, to the way that the universe gently flutters information into your awareness. Be loyal and authentic to your dreams. That little voice that says, if I went and talked to my boss, I bet you he'd let me blah, blah, blah. Or if I asked for Mondays off, I wonder if I bet I could just get it. I was talking to a friend the other day and they were listening to me kind of tell a story about walking into a place and just asking a person for a thing. And they said to me, wait, you just walked in the building and said, hi, could I have this thing? And I said, yeah. And they said, what? And I was just like, see, this is the gift of having had kind of an aggressive, pushy dad who, was also lovely and had other good qualities, but he's a tricky guy. But my parents, if they taught me one thing useful, they taught me you got to ask people for stuff. Even when the people in front of you are saying there's no stuff here, or we don't have any stuff, you can ask a different way and you might just get the stuff you're looking for. So when it says your loyalty is an important theme now, loyalty to the divine, to the whispers, to your dreams, to the quiet little voices that talk to you in a positive way, not the tricky little bitches that whisper to you to give up and it's all stupid and it's the cynical, no point, self-doubting voices. Look, our job with those voices is literally to not engage with them. People think they have to do all kinds of complicated shit with their negative voices. Just don't engage. Like, you know, when you're at a party and someone walks up to you and they start being annoying and you're just like, and you figure out really quickly, like, I don't really want to talk to this person. And then you make up oh my God, that's my friend. Or, oh, I'm going to grab a drink real quick. It was nice to meet you. And you walk away and get your sparkling water at the bar. It's you don't owe that weirdo anything. If a crazy maniac left the insane asylum and knocked on your window at night and said, listen to all my theories about cheddar cheese, you would not do so. You'd call the police. So why do you engage with the negative, low vibrational voices in your freaking head? Why? Because you're habituated to it, because you're addicted to it, because it's familiar to you, and because it's comfortable to listen to those fuckers. That is, listen to me, listen closely, that is their favorite trick. This'll be more comfortable if you do this. Oh my God, how many dreams are squashed by the lie of comfort now. Feel comfortable now, don't take that risk. It's more comfortable and cozy here. It's also dead. It's also dead here when you listen to that voice. Okay, so they're telling me to back off a little. Recent past stuck in the mud. Present moment, lots of change. Gotta find our courage and embrace it. And the outcome is we're protected. Protecting treasure. We're safe. The nest egg is protected. So I don't know what you're specifically going through and what you're looking at, but I am looking at some huge shifts in my business, in my life, in my location, in my relationships, everything, pretty much everything that could change is being asked to change. And it's all for the better. And it's interesting in my reality. I'll share this in case it's useful to anyone. For the first time in my life, I'm going from things that are really good to things that are way better. Now, I personally do not have a frame of reference for that. I don't have an experience of that working out. I don't have that in my history, right? If I look to my past, I don't have that. I've had times where things were terrible and I worked really hard and they got better. And I've had times where things are okay and I've worked really hard and they've gotten better. And I've had times where things are good and I've kept them good by working hard on myself and my spiritual connection. And this is new for me. Wait, things are good. Things are actually good. They're like exclamation point good. And still I'm being asked to move forward because still the universe actually desires that I have more. One of my healers that I go to and work with said to me the other day, she goes, remember, kid, she's like a real straight shooter. I like her a lot. She goes, remember, kid, we work for the boss, you and I, the boss. And when you work for the boss wants to get, and you're like loyal to the boss and you do the boss's work on this fucking planet with these people here who don't give a fuck, a lot of them. When you do the boss's work, the boss has your back and the boss pays dividends. Why? Because the boss is trying to get the most out of you as a solid soldier of the light and worker bee that you are, that it can. So if you're being pushed into more, okay, if you're being pushed forward into more, or if you're thinking about, if you're in that place where you're like, I could do this new thing, but I'm old and I don't want to try, or I bet I could, but I don't know, maybe I'm just making it up. All of that, everything on the second half of those sentences is always a lie. We even tell ourselves this real tricky, smart thing where we'll be like, but it's rational. It's intelligent to be a little bit wary, isn't it? We want to be careful. We want to be cautious. We've lived lives. We have wisdom now. There's a difference between wisdom and the negative voice that stops you from moving forward. Wisdom moves you forward in a wise way. Wisdom doesn't say stop trying. Wisdom says keep trying, but try different, honey, because the way you were trying before wasn't really working. But do this new stuff. Okay, my loves, that I believe is that for now. I have a few announcements to share. Number one, if you're interested, my Star Beings class begins again July 5th. That is a 7-week online class where oh my God, it's kind of an advanced class. You need to have a bit of spiritual healing work under your belt, energy work. You need to have awareness of the notion of star beings and star nations, and you need to be open to receiving high vibrational light. This is for people who've been doing a little work for a little while and they're ready to really blast forward. Every single week we get a very strong activation from the star beings, being like, the star beings are the Pleiadians and the Sirians and the Lyrans and the Lemurians. These are advanced races these are beings that are more evolved than we are. They live in realms of consciousness that we're headed to now, but it's going to take us a while to catch up to those guys. And so they deliver high frequency activations and healings for us. And it's really profound. Like my students in my current version of that class are their lives are being blown open and blown forward. And it's pretty damn incredible. So we start July 5th. It's a 7-week class. It's only $475, and you're getting 2 hours of healing and activation every week. Mondays, 10 to 12 California time, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Mondays, California time, starting July 5th. If you're curious about it, email me directly at klrubin@gmail.com. K as in kiss, L as in love, R-U-B as in boy, I-N as in Nancy @gmail.com. Additionally, I'm leading a 3-day retreat with my dear friend, Dr. Nicola Dellinger. This will be July 16th to the 18th in Denver, Colorado. Nelly, this one's going to be intense. I'm going to transmit Christ light in the beginning of each day. Powerful, powerful healing frequency. And it will bring a bunch of your stuff up and it will clear it for you. And then we'll take a lunch break and we're going to have fancy lunches catered for you. It's going to be very cute, very pretty. And then after lunch, Nicola is going to facilitate for us some integrative parts work. And if you're unfamiliar with that, Google IFS, I as in igloo, F as in Frank, S as in Sam. I think it's Integral or Integrative Family Systems is the actual system that this work is from. And she's going to teach us about how to face and find the parts of ourselves internally that need to be integrated to make us whole beings, whole people, whole creatures. So the Christ light stuff blasts it all out of you, and then the parts work integrates it through you, and it's going to be pretty freaking great. That is July 16th to the 18th. You can join us online. I have several people already joining us online, or you can come in person to Denver. It's $1,700, so cheap for 3 freaking full days of game-changing work, and $1,100 if you join us online. Again, if you have questions about that, email me at klrubin@gmail.com. K as in kiss, L as in love, R-U-B as in boy, I-N as in Nancy @gmail.com, and say you're interested and I'll give you some details. Do I have anything else for you right now? No, I think that's it. Listen to All the Answers podcast as much as you can. And please, you guys, you know what? Last thing I'll say today, we need your support. We're ready to blow this fucker out of the goddamn water already. We're giving high quality healing work here and sass and comedy and irreverence, and we need your help. Who in your life would love this show? Maybe point them our direction. See if they're interested. See if they bite. Tell one friend. You know what I mean? How hard is it? Tell them this was the best thing I ever heard. It really made my day. Those are some good words you could say to them. Or you could just tell them the truth. That's an option, but that's boring. Just kidding. So please tell your friends about us. Our best marketing is word of mouth, and we need you. And we're not afraid to own our vulnerable needs. See, I did it here. And with that, let us close the Akashic Records so that we can all ground a little bit and be on our merry way. I love you guys so much. Thank you for receiving this light and this work. It gives my entire life meaning and purpose. You do that for me by being here and listening. So this is a reciprocal dynamic, and I appreciate you for it. I want to thank the masters, teachers, and loved ones for their love and compassion, the lords of the records for their point of view, and the Holy Spirit of light for all knowledge and healing. I ask that you return the energy of everybody in All the Answers collective to themselves now, please. Return the energy of everyone, past, present, and future, in the All the Answers Collective. Return all their energy to them. Return them, please, to their complete human wholeness now. The divine portal and the Akashic records of the All the Answers podcast collective are now closed. Amen. The divine portal and the Akashic records of the All the Answers podcast collective are now closed. Amen. Divine portal and the Akashic records of the All the Answers podcast collective are now closed. Amen. 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 I had a teacher who said the amens at the end of that prayer are really the thing that seals the deal and closes it up. And I always notice certain like lagging energetic completion that happens right at the amens at the end of the sentence. Just a little teaching for you. I love you guys. Be in touch. klrubin@gmail.com and check out katierubin.com. Book your healing package now. It's time. Let's clear that shit. I love you.
When you're asking for all of the answers, say what? All of the answers? Yeah, all the answers.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. We'd love to hear from you. Please email us with your questions so that we have questions to answer in the Akashic Records. Our email address is allanswerspod@gmail.com. That's allanswerspod@gmail.com. And if you'd like to find us on Facebook or Twitter, it's @allanswerspod, @allanswerspod. Thank you. Wouldn't it be funny if I just realized right now I had my sound wasn't on? I just had that thought like, well, I think the sound is on. Let's proceed as if it is.
That was a Sounds Awesome production.